Hey guys, you might be wondering which of the Gili Islands you should visit on your next trip to Bali. Well, today I'm going to talk about our experience to the Gili Islands, which islands we went to, and if you should even bother visiting the Gili Islands on your next trip to Bali. I'm also going to give you a guide on how to get there, transport while you're on the islands, your food options, where we stayed, the weather, and possible day trips from the Gili Islands around to the other Gili Islands. All that coming up next. If you're new to our channel, my name's David and we share weekly travel videos as a family, so we'd love it if you can subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Alright, let's get on with this guide about the Gili Islands. The Gili Islands are a popular group of islands tourists visit from Bali, but the Gilis are actually part of this massive island, Lombok. There are in fact 26 Gili Islands around Lombok, but when people talk about the Gili Islands, they're usually talking about these three islands: Gili Trawangan, Gili Meno, and Gili Air. These are the islands that I'm going to be talking about today. Some other well-known and popular islands near Bali are the three Nusa Islands: Nusa Lembongan, Nusa Ceningan, and Nusa Penida. We also visited these islands, so if you want to see what we got up to while we were there, I'll link a playlist in the description for you to check out. Something you might be wondering is why some islands are called the Nusa Islands and some are the Gili Islands. Well, basically these are just two different dialects. The Nusa Islands are a part of Bali, and the Gili Islands are a part of Lombok, and both words translate to island. So which island should you choose? Gili Trawangan, better known as Gili T, is known as the party island, so if partying is your thing, then that is definitely the island you would want to go to. Gili Meno is a very chilled island. There's not much development there. It's the kind of place that might be really good if you're on a honeymoon. And Gili Air is a bit of a mix between both Gili T and Gili Meno. They have all the facilities of Gili T, but there's just not as much of a party scene there. So how did we decide which island we would go to? For this part of our holiday, we were just looking to chill out for a few days. We'd had a pretty full-on trip up to this point. If you don't know what we've been up to, then you should probably go check out this playlist up here or in the description and watch our Indonesia vlogs from the beginning. Although Gili T is known as the party island, we were not opposed to going there because of this. We've been to Koh Phi Phi in Thailand, which I've heard has a similar vibe, and we really loved it there. But it's just not what we were looking for this part of our holiday. We were thinking that Gili Meno would have limited food options, and also maybe a little bit too quiet for us, so we opted for Gili Air. We just decided from what we'd read that this was going to be the best option for us, having the kids, and what we were trying to get out of this holiday. So basically that's how we decided on which island we'd go to. But before you decide if you should even go to the Gili Islands, you might want to consider quite a few other things before you make that decision. Something else you really need to consider is how you're going to get to the Gili Islands, because the time it takes to get there may really weigh in on your decision whether you should go or not. You might only have a few days in Bali, and the journey to get to the Gili Islands may be just too long for you. Getting to the Gilis was quite a journey for us. We were travelling from Nusa Penida, where there are no direct boats or ferries to the Gili Islands. From Nusa Penida, we had to get a small boat back to Nusa Lembongan, where we were dropped off on a floating dock in between Nusa Lembongan and Nusa Ceningan. From here, we were picked up by the Eka Jaya fast boat. That would take us all the way to Padang Bay and then onto the Gili Islands. All up, this cost us 450,000 rupiah per adult, which is about 45 Australian dollars each, and our kids were free. Gili Air was of course the furthest away.
Abby, can you say, this is Gili T?
It's Gili Air.
Say, this is Gili T.
No, this Gili Air. Yeah, they are going Gili Air, Gili Air, Gili Air.
Say Gili, so this is Gili T.
Gili Air.
When the boat finally got to Gili Air, we had to wait on another floating dock and wait to be transported to the beach. From that drop-off point, it took us about 10 minutes to walk to our hotel. The whole trip from Nusa Penida to Gili Air took us a bit over 6 hours. Now obviously you may not be going all the way from Nusa Penida. If you depart straight from Padang Bay, the journey will be much shorter and should only take a couple of hours. Now let's talk about the hotel we picked and why we picked it. The hotel we stayed at was the Ombak Paradise. We actually didn't even have a booking when we arrived. We didn't have a single booking for the entire month we were in Indonesia, except for our first couple of nights in Kuta. Mount Agung had recently erupted and heaps of flights were cancelled into Bali, and because of this, there was just so much available at the time. So we were happy to walk into hotels and negotiate a rate, and everywhere we went to, we actually got a better rate than what was available online. So we were quite happy to do that on this trip. I'm not saying it's going to be like that if you do the same on your trip to Bali, but because it was just so quiet, it really worked out well for us. So we picked the Ombak Paradise for quite a few reasons. First of all, it was pretty close to where the boats dropped you off. We didn't want to be walking too far carrying our luggage and the kids. Some parts of the island can take up to an hour to reach if you're walking. Also, the hotel had mostly good reviews online. This is something we always look at wherever we stay. The rooms look clean and modern, and the hotel also had a massive pool, and it's actually the biggest pool in all of Lombok, so we thought that was really cool. Now I'm sorry this footage is a little bit shaky, but I just thought we'd share our first impressions when we got to the island. Guys, first impressions of the hotel. Looks great. I was told this is the biggest pool in Lombok. It is massive, and it's actually the biggest resort in Lombok as well, I believe. 200 rooms. It's a pretty cool place to stay. Hopefully it all goes well. It's right on the beach, which is very convenient, and they've got a restaurant right on the beach as well. Anything else, Lisa?
They got a swim-up bar, which is social system, and I'm pretty excited about that.
The bar?
Yeah, the bar. And very responsible, obviously, drinking while you're looking after little kids. And also, you can order food from your sun lounges. So I'm pretty excited about it too, because, you know, when the kids are swimming, we can just get some food, we don't have to go anywhere else.
There you go. Just need someone to look after your kids. And
Yes.
you'll be set. Now, let's talk about transport while you're on the islands. Your transport options are very limited on the Gili Islands. There are no cars or scooters. There are horse-drawn carriages, bikes, and your feet. We walked everywhere because everything we needed was usually only a 10-minute walk away, and we were not really supportive of the situation with the horses on the Gili Islands. Now, let's talk about the weather on the Gili Islands. If you'd seen our previous videos from this trip, you would know that we didn't have the best weather leading up to this part of our holiday.
Pissing down. Oh my god. Oh, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And this sort of weather continued while we were on Gili Air. Most days it was pretty sunny and you had clear skies, but the rain would just come rolling in sometimes and it was really unpredictable. So if you do venture out, make sure you've got an umbrella. Our hotel had umbrellas available for us, so just make sure you've got that option available when you're in the Gilis. Now let's talk about food options while you're on the Gili Islands. If you didn't know, we're vegetarian, so our preferences may be different to yours. Walking around the island, you'll come across people selling fruit, and it's very reasonably priced. There are places that sell specialty coffee, and we went to one that was called Coffee and Time, and it was quite good.
We just had coffee at Coffee and Time, which is the little coffee shop just directly as you get off the boat on the harbour. The coffee was very nice, however, do not have the soy. It was kind of vomit-inducing. So unfortunately I didn't finish my coffee because I could not handle the taste of soy, and I've been drinking soy for so long, but that was just too way out there. I tried David's coffee, and the actual coffee itself, the taste was really nice, so definitely a good spot to go to, and the prices were pretty Western prices. I think I paid about $4 for my cafe latte, and I think $3.50 for a cappuccino, and we also had a smoothie, so it all came up to about $11.
Some other things we found is that there were some places selling vegetarian burgers, which was pretty cool for us. And also we found a really great place that sold donuts as well. Alright guys, we're stopping for donuts.
Hello.
How much are donuts, Lisa?
15,000.
Which is?
$1.50. Oh, and it comes in a pretty box.
Oh, yum.
Oh, it's raining.
Oh no! Thank you.
For those of you that aren't vegetarian, We did walk past quite a few places that had very fresh seafood. I can't tell you if it's good or not, but you'll just have to find that out for yourself if you go to the Gilis. Now I have to say the best thing about the food on the Gili Islands is the view that comes with it. Many of the restaurants are right on the beach or have chairs set up right on the water. Some resorts and beach clubs put out lounges for guests which anyone can use, and you can order your food from these, but be prepared to pay to do so. Okay guys, so we're just sitting outside the Sunrise Beach Club. A good idea to check how much it is to use the chairs at these resorts. We just figured if you order some drinks and food, it'd be okay. They have told us it is 100,000 rupiah to use the chairs, which is about $10. But you get a credit basically to buy that much worth of food and drink. So we have ordered some drinks anyway, so it's no big deal. We'll probably just spend more than we might have. We were just going to have one drink, but we'll probably just get 2 or 3 drinks to use that credit up, and then we'll move on back to our hotel, I think. But overall, we'd have to say the food on Gili Air was average. There was nothing really too flash, but we were happy while we were there. We thought the cost of the food was a little bit more expensive than other parts of Bali. It is understandable though. You need to realise that the food isn't really produced on the islands, so they have to bring it all in from either Bali or Lombok. And obviously to transport the food there, it is going to result in the cost of food being higher. So it's totally reasonable, but it is something you need to be aware of when you visit there. Now let's talk about some day trips from the Gili Islands.
I'm going Gili Air.
Yeah?
I'm going Gili T. I'm going Gili Meno.
You need to realise these islands are very close to each other. You can see them from each other. So it really doesn't matter where you stay. You can easily do a day trip to the other islands if you want to get a taste of what's happening over there. We did one day trip to Gili Meno. We did some snorkeling, had some lunch, and we went for a swim in this really cool pool that had been formed naturally by all the broken coral and the currents.
But you didn't go under.
Guys, this is the first time we've seen Javi swim on his own. He hasn't got his vest on, but he's having a go and he's doing awesome. Show us, Javi. Yeah! It's only for like a second, but still, good on him.
This is simply amazing. However, a lady just walked past and told us to watch out for sea urchins. I promptly started running away from the water, but it's shallow here so you can see where you're stepping, but this water is the perfect temperature. It's calm because the tide's out a little bit at the moment. It's just perfection.
In saying that, it was pretty sad to see so much dead coral on Gili Meno. Clearly something is just not right with the water in the Gilis. The spot where we went snorkeling had nothing but dead coral. There weren't really that many fish, but we did see a few sea turtles. If you know of the best snorkeling spots in the Gilis, maybe tell us about them in the comments, but from our experience in Gili Meno, it wasn't that crash hot. Gili Meno also has a turtle sanctuary. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to go visit it. Our tour did seem a little bit rushed, so if we did do that tour again, we would probably negotiate a bit more time on the island.
We're back! It's nearly 2.
We were planning on doing a day trip to Gili T, but to be honest, we were quite happy just to chill out on Gili Air for the rest of the trip. Overall, I'd definitely recommend visiting Gili Air. It has such a chilled vibe to it. The sunsets are no doubt some of the best we've ever seen. Gili Meno was nice, but for us the beaches we saw just had too much broken coral. The island is super chilled, so if you love sitting on a beach and doing nothing with not much else happening around you, then Gili Meno might be the best option for you. Like I mentioned, we didn't get to visit Gili T. We did manage to speak to quite a few people who had been to Gili T and Gili Air, and from what they said, we were quite happy with our decision to stay on Gili Air. They made us feel like it was the best option for us, particularly having the kids. But if you're someone who likes to party, then definitely I think Gili T might be the best option for you, because Gili Air really doesn't have that party scene that you might be looking for. So to sum it up, we were very happy with our choice to stay on Gili Air for those 5 nights in the Gili Islands. Now before you go guys, please hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. I'm also going to link some playlists to some other videos that we've done to Nusa Lembongan and also Nusa Penida. So if you want to go check those out, there's some links for you there. In the past we've mostly done vlog style videos. We want to start doing more videos that are a bit more informative like this one. So if you did like this video, let us know about it in the comments. And also, please consider subscribing so you can see more of our adventures as a family. I do appreciate it if you made it this far into the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.